Hello again and welcome. I'm Tim Moody. I'm the Public Information Officer with the Randolph County School System. I'm here with our Superintendent, Dr. Stephen Gainey, and it's From the Desk Of edition for January 2017. We come out before you each month. Thanks to Randolph Communications, and we share with you the great things that are going on in our school system. And I know I sound like a broken record, Dr. Gainey, because I say it every month when I talk about how much we've got going on. And that would be an understatement for this month. There's so many significant things that are happening. But let's start by talking about the weather. On January, I think it was 9th, 10th, and 11th, we got hit with some snow days. If you would, talk a little bit about our response as a school district to how we handled the snow situation and also the impact on our calendar.
Well, you're right, Tim. We started out, we had trouble getting January started. It was already packed, and then we took 3 days. It was 3 days that were taken out of our schedule because of the weather, but we did have a snowstorm, as you know, arrive on Friday night. I think it was January 6th, and a lot of the work headed into that started, Thursday night and Friday as we're watching it. We knew it wasn't coming in until Friday, so we had to work on whether we were going to let activities occur on Friday night the 6th, and we wound up canceling our activities, so that we lost a play-in date for high school athletics, and so that's put us behind a little bit with the coaches with winter sports. But what happened with our calendar after that is our calendar is set so that we absorb the first 5 days that we miss due to inclement weather, so we will not be making these days up. We came back, I think it was on the 12th, we came back into school, and we'll move forward. We have 2 more days of that 5 that we have that if we miss, we will absorb. And then if we miss more than 5 for the year, then we'll have to start looking for makeup days. And those days are set on our calendar. But it's been an interesting January. It moved a board meeting back a week. We're beginning to catch up. I told somebody yesterday, whenever we have weather, it takes my whole calendar, my personal calendar for work usually gets me about a month off. And so I was looking the other day, and I think we'll be completely caught up by early to mid-February because of this event. So hopefully we've had our 1 snow for the winter and we'll stay on track. But the teachers have done a great job of getting the kids back in routine. Staff at the schools have done just a tremendous job, principals, and so feel really good where we are. We had a little interruption because of the weather, but now we're ready to move forward.
So for those of you that are regular viewers of our monthly interview, you probably know that really for the past 3 years we've been doing these interviews from Dr. Gainey's office, and last month we began something new. We went out to Randolph Elementary School and did our interview there, and today we thank the good folks at Southmont Elementary for allowing us to come out. And so Dr. Gainey, the next thing I want to talk to you about is your favorite day of the year. Something I heard you say a number of times this past Tuesday, which was January the 17th. I want you to share with our community why it was your favorite day of the year.
Well, Tim, the snow, I can deal with the snow or a little bit of snow, but I'm not a real big fan of cold weather. And what made it even not as exciting for me this time is when it came on and we were out of school on the 9th of January, it delayed my favorite day of the year as superintendent. And that favorite day of the year has become, starting with January 2014, a meeting we have every year. It's a joint meeting with the county commissioners. We bring them into our work session in the January board meeting, or the work session before the January board meeting. And we started this back in January 2014 of let's just sit and have a conversation about the budget request you're going to see from us in May. And I've really enjoyed it. I enjoy working with our board. I enjoy working with our county commissioners, and we are able to share with them what we're going to bring to them in May. It gives them a real preview of it, and then gives them a chance just to talk with us and us give more information than we may be able to that night in May when we do the formal presentation. And so I guess what makes it the favorite night or favorite day of the year for me is it really truly is another step in us building a positive relationship between our school system and the county commissioners based on 2 things that are very dear to me, which is trust and transparency, because they're a funding source for our school system, and I don't believe we can be successful unless they trust us in what we're doing with the resources they give us, and we're transparent with them when they ask questions, or maybe I don't think we should always wait for them to ask questions. We should show them what we're doing. And so it was very exciting. We went through our current expense request that we'll bring out in May. which were, there was 4 current expense requests we talked about, continuation costs, which are always going to be there. We're asking for our supplement for our teachers and all employees to be increased by another 0.75%. I think it's important to note that the county commissioners have continued to work, and we moved our supplement for the 16-17 school year because of their help for the first time since 2007. So we're trying to finish the request from last year. They helped us get part of it, and we're asking for the remainder of that. We have a UWARI school project. We talked to them about that. They've been very supportive of that. And then we asked for some local funding, some recurring local funding in our local budget for computer technology replacements and upgrades. So, you know, the beauty of this, because of what we've developed with them and their help, for the second year in a row, we're not asking for any capital outlay funding as far as the annual funding. Now, yes, we have a major school project. We need to build a middle school out in Archdale Trinity Zone, and we talked about that the other night. But when you go back to the question about the favorite day of the year, this is what I wanted. You know, I wanted a chance to be a superintendent, but it's bigger than that to me. It's about leadership, and it's about hopefully bringing groups together that work to help our school system get better. And you can say the staff and the students and the parents and surrounding community members and the Board of Education, but you also need the other elected officials with you. And we have a very similar event in November with our legislators, and they've been very engaged in those meetings. We talked to them about state budget issues, but the absolute favorite night is this one with the county commissioners, because I really enjoy interacting with them, and I enjoy the opportunity to continue to develop the trust and continue to be as transparent as we most possibly can be with them.
All right. Now, you mentioned the UWARI school project, and that certainly is maybe not a new paradigm, because we have other non-traditional school in Randolph Early College, but it would be non-traditional in the sense that it would incorporate grades 6 through 12 and some significant changes for our school system and for the community. So could you give us a few highlights about what that's going to be about?
Well, Tim, we're going to have we're proposing, and the board approved it the other night, so we're moving forward with starting next year. We're going to add a 9th grade to UWARI middle, and we're going to wind up with some kind of a name change. We haven't got that far yet, but it'll still be the grades 6 through 8. What a lot of people don't know is we have about 300 vacant seats at UWARI Middle right now. So a lot of times, as I said to the commissioners and the board, you know, when you go down the road for one of these projects, a lot of times your obstacle is finding a facility. We have that, so we're going to add 9th grade next year, 17, 18, then the next year a 10th grade, 11th the next, and then 12th. So we're going to cap each grade level at 75 students. So when we open this school, we're going to build the curriculum around 3 schools of study. One is public service, one is technology and design, and the other school, the third school, is leadership and communication. We're going to have a one-to-one technology initiative, which is going to be the first one in the Randolph County School System. But you know what I'm so excited about is this school system, and it started before my time. This school system has a great foundation and a very good track record of planning things out. And so we opened the early college, and it has been a success. And you know, I know I'm biased because it's in our school system, but I believe the early college is as good an early college as there is in the state of North Carolina. It continues to perform, and the kids continue to go out of there with opportunities. But now we're bringing another school choice option to the Randolph County School System, and that's exciting. As I said to the commissioners and to the board the other night, the children have spoken for years, for several years now, that we have some interest that maybe a traditional setting, you know, some children have, some parents have, but mainly we're looking at the children. What have they spoken about? Right. And here we go. It's time for us to speak back and say, you're important to us. We've planned something to try to address your special interest, and I'm just excited about this. The children will have access to athletics and marching band and the extracurriculars. There'll be an activity bus every day that will take them over to Southwest High, and that's where they'll participate in those extracurricular activities. So just it's an exciting time for the school system to, you know, in 10 years, it's about 10 years after the early college opened, and it's time for another special school, and just excited to see how this thing develops.
Okay, as you can see, we have moved from the Southmont Media Center to the gymnasium as we make our way through the school, and just want to take an opportunity here to say thank you again to Southmont for allowing us to come and be on their campus and do our monthly interview. Dr. Gainey, another thing that you had mentioned a moment ago, you made a reference to a new school, and when you think about all the big news that could happen. When you say new school, that sort of rises to the top of things that we can talk about. And I know a lot of folks in the community, particularly in the Archdale Trinity area, are interested in what you have to say about this.
Yeah, Tim, we're looking right now at a proposal to build a middle school in the Archdale Trinity zone. There will be an information meeting on Tuesday night, the 24th of January at 5:30 with the Archdale Trinity Chamber of Commerce at Archdale Trinity Middle, and I hope a lot of people up there will come out so we can share some information. And basically, the information will be why we feel like we need a new middle school, where will it be built, what will it cost, and what will it look like. And we've already presented that information to the commissioners on a couple of occasions. Last spring it was brought up in a capital outlay presentation to the commissioners. I talked to them in October at one of their meetings, and we do need that middle school. We need it. It's an urgent need, and it's not, you know, we can do some renovation type things or repair things like roofs and all at schools, but this is our one new school building that we need. And the commissioners have been in a lot of conversations with us, our board has been, and so we just need to make sure the community knows that here's something we're going to make a push for. Right now, we deal with the middle school situation at Archdale Trinity Zone two ways. 6th grade goes to Braxton Craven, and 7th and 8th grade goes to Archdale Trinity Middle. Well, what people don't know is there's enough students between those two schools to make 2 middle schools of 564 kids apiece, 2 6-8 middle schools. So if we can get this middle school built, we will reset Archdale Trinity Middle as a grade 6-8 school and then have another 6-8 school. And the irony is Wheatmore High School was built several years back. And so kids came out of Trinity, and you know, they divided up the population. That was before my time, but now the site for a new middle school is right there at Trinity High School. So that would be a very good balance. And you know, that land was donated to the school system on April 24th, 1990. And the state requires us to have 50 acres to build a middle school, and we have 69.58 acres sitting there. So it is ideal. And another little piece that's important here is, or it may be a big piece, the school system and the county commissioners on July 1, 1996 sent the 6th graders from Archdale Trinity Middle to Braxton Craven, and it cost them about $400,000 to get the building ready to go. And they did that then because Archdale Trinity Middle was overcrowded. 20 years later, we're still using that temporary solution. It was a great decision when it happened, but it is time to do something. And what I'm concerned about is if we stay at Braxton Craven much longer with the 6th grade, we're going to have to do some renovations. And you know, as I said to the commissioners the other night, and they've been very supportive in these conversations, and they're going to have to be involved because the funding for these kind of projects comes from the commissioners. But you're looking at, you could go in and renovate Braxton Craven and possibly spend $10 to $15 million because of the age of the building and some needs that need to be, some things that need to be done. But do you want to spend $10 to $15 million and renovate a school, or for about 26 to 27 million build a brand new one? And see, you build the brand new one and you don't have this division anymore. And see, another thing that people don't realize, and it's just the community's done such a great job for 20 years of managing and working with it. We have kids coming from 5 elementary schools into essentially 1 middle school, Braxton and Archdale Trinity Middle, and then they separate back out to 2 high schools. And that's tough on a community, and I believe strongly that the community has handled this well. They deserve a big thank you from the school system and from the larger county for handling it the way they did, because it could have been built in a middle school 20 years ago. There's been a lot of money saved, and now I think it's, as I said to a reporter the other day, the time's now to realign this community, realign this community, and get 2 6-8 middle schools there so that 1 middle school feeds each high school. And so looking forward to seeing how this project develops over the next couple months. But we'll be at Archdale Trinity Middle on Tuesday night, January 24th at 5:30, and hope community members come out and so we can share some more information.
Okay, so as we continue to make our way through the Southmont campus, as you can see, we're now in a classroom, and Dr. Gainey, we've had an opportunity to talk about a couple of new things. There's a third one, that is a summer enrichment program that's going to be taking place at Southeastern Randolph Middle School. There's going to be a parent information session the week of February the 27th where parents will indeed have an opportunity to learn more about this program. But if you could, just give us a few details about it right now.
Well, Tim, you're right. That's another thing we've been working on. We've actually, we mentioned the Uwharrie School Project. We've been working on that for about 9 months. And we've been working on what can we do at Southeast Randolph Middle, something different, something a little bit to draw more engagement of students. And so this program is going to be, it'll be a week-long camp. There'll be 4 different weeks, so a child will have a choice of 1 of 4 weeks. It'll be geared towards rising 6th graders and rising 7th graders, and the week will be a 4-day camp, and it's an all-day. First day it's going to be, and the names of them are Agriculture Monday, Business Tuesday, Wednesdays is Health Science Wednesday, and Thursday is Community Engagement Day. And just trying to do some team building activities, help kids explore some interest in some different career areas, and really just help them get more and more acclimated to Southeast Randolph Middle School. And it's exciting. We have staff that will be working this camp. We will provide, there's 2 weeks that we'll provide transportation to the Ramsar community, and then there'll be a week that we provide transportation to the Franklinville and a week to Coleridge community. That doesn't mean if I live in Coleridge I have to come that week. But there is a week that if you're going to need transportation to and from camp, that's the week you'll need to sign up. But very excited, staff's excited, and it's just another way of getting kids engaged. And so much of this business is about relationships, particularly when you get to the middle and high school level. We talked a few minutes ago about the middle school and or the proposed new middle school in Archdale Trinity Zone. And one of the things I said this week to a news person was, relationships at high school and middle school they're paramount, even more so. I mean, they're important at elementary, but they really become important when you start getting to middle school and high school. And so we're hoping to get to some of these middle school students, the rising 6th graders who may be a little bit nervous coming out of elementary school. That's a big transition to middle. Help them get on the campus, see what Southeast Randolph Middle School is about. Then they can feel like they're already adjusted somewhat. So when we get back to the start of the school year, then they won't be their first encounter with the campus. And then, rising 7th graders, how much adjustment do they really make as a 6th grader? We don't know, but maybe we can help them feel even more comfortable and also engage them with some academic rigor. And again, like I said, team building and just career exploration. And you may have said this, Tim, but the camp, there'll be 2 weeks in June and there'll be 2 weeks in July. So there's plenty of options. And we did that knowing that families may be traveling some in the summer and all that and have other things already arranged. But it's an exciting time for Southeast Randolph Middle. We are really working. We've put in a health science program there that no other middle school has. We've worked very hard on technology out there, and it's just exciting to see this go into Southeast Randolph Middle. At the same time, we're on the other side of the county working on Uwharrie Middle. So I'm just excited to see how the next couple of years play out. Some good opportunities for kids.
So we just talked about 3 initiatives, Dr. Gainey, involving our middle schools. So let's move over to high schools for just a moment and talk about the College and Career Promise. What is that?
Well, Tim, that's an exciting program, and that's something that's been made available through the state. And so if a child is in high school, they can take community college courses free of tuition. It's like a tuition waiver. And they can do it one of 3 ways. They could do an online course through the community college. They could go to the community college and take the course on site, or one very exciting thing that Randolph Community College has been doing in the last couple of years, and it's just beginning to grow and grow, their instructors come to our campuses and teach the courses to our kids during the school day. So, I want to commend our high school principals, because from the fall of 2014, that year we had 140 kids, or there was 140 classes taken through this College and Career Promise program, and this fall there was 479. So that's how far we've grown. And then when I look back at Wheatmore High School is one that comes to mind. 2 falls ago, their number was in the single digits, 7 or 8. Now it's at 179. That is incredible. So I do want to say a couple of things. One is I want to commend the students for taking advantage of this opportunity, because and they don't pay for their books. We pick up their textbook costs. So they don't pay for fees, they don't pay for tuition. As long as they're in high school, there's free fees, or no fees, no tuition, and we cover their textbooks. So I want to commend the students for taking advantage of this, and I also want to commend our high school principals, because being a former high school principal, I know when you have a 3-day-a-week class from the community college and the instructor comes out to your campus. That requires some flexibility on your part as a principal to say, I'm going to be creative here with the schedule for this group of kids so they don't lose this opportunity. So here again, we've got this going on with the early college, and we're getting ready to add that You Are a School project. So we're really beginning just to get the doors open on a lot of individual special opportunities for children. But I want to also congratulate Nancy Cross, because she and the career development coordinators have really, at each high school, have really pushed this, and they've done a great job. And the kids are responding, and the principals have done a great day's work in trying to make sure schedules work for these children to take advantage of this opportunity. They're getting college credits before they leave high school.
So another high school initiative that was rolled out at our board meeting this past Tuesday evening was the High School EOC Saturday Academy. So could you share with our community what that is?
Well, Tim, the Saturday Academies, we kind of piloted it in the spring of 2016, and I want to say then the high schools, we gave them a little bit of funding, and we said, how about focus on the 3 EOC areas you offer at the high school level, which now are Math 1, English 2, and Biology. And offer some Saturday remediation, because we already had a couple schools that were doing some things like that, and we're being successful getting kids to come in on Saturdays. You're not talking about a whole day, you're talking about a half day, and so we provided some funding last year, and let's try this. And we tried it. I think they did 6 Saturdays last year, and it was the 6 Saturdays leading into exam week in the spring. And so when the school year was over, High School Director Kim Johnson and Kat Berry, Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction, came and said, well, what are we going to do? And of course, I'm all about consistency, and they know that. And so I was excited when they wanted to we want to continue it. And so what we did was we said, let's continue it, do fall and spring, not just spring, because remember the high schoolers take their own blocks. So some classes in, or their first semester classes in at the end of first semester. So what we've come down to now is they had 4 Saturdays this fall leading right into exams, which this is exam week. They're finishing exams today. And then the 4 Saturdays leading into exams in the spring down in June, and they'll have those for kids to come in. We have staff that come in, work with the children, and it's just a great opportunity. What I've seen from Kim is that Kim Johnson is, I think they provide some snacks, and some stuff, but it's really, when you start talking with kids, even the older kids, you want them as comfortable and as confident as they can be when they go into this testing at the end of the year. And if anything, hopefully that comes out as a product of this program. But also there's times this program allows you to go and pinpoint some specific areas you may need to remediate with some of these children. So the children have taken advantage of it. Our numbers are growing there. Some schools, the numbers were a little light last spring. And now you look back this spring and this fall, and they've really grown. So another credit to these kids, and parents are, it's being advertised by the principals, and parents are taking advantage of this with their children, as far as encouraging children. So I think that will only grow, Tim.
So Dr. Gainey, virtually everything that we've talked about today as part of our interview, we presented to our Board of Education members this past Tuesday evening. And as you know, each board meeting we have special awards and recognitions. We recognize our Star 3 students, we recognize our Star employees, and we always have some special recognitions. And this month we recognize the folks behind the camera. Randolph Communications, I want to give you an opportunity to talk about the relationship that we've had with these good folks for now going about 3.5 years. Talk about that.
Well, Tim, it is a special relationship. I value the staff. I think it was July 2013 when I learned that there was a television channel out there, and I learned of Randolph Telephone, and so I reached out, and I just thought, well, can we get our school system, can we showcase our school system on this television system? And so I think I talked to them for the first time in July 2013, and then I think our first filming was September of 13. It started out with me sitting behind my desk and talking, and then we kind of progressed to you came on board and we put a public information officer position in. You started interviewing me after you saw for a couple months what was going on, and now here we are out at schools, where all our business really is. It's about schools, it's about kids. But I do want to say thank you. One of the primary goals as superintendent when I walked in the door was, let's open the doors and let everybody see what's going on. And if there's things we need to work on, maybe we may not see it all the time, but opening those doors and letting people see, they may give us some feedback. And all we want to do is get better as a school system. And I hope this is another step. You're involved in this team approach. Your staff's involved. No, you're not on our school system staff, but you're helping us by continually getting better, because we're able to share stuff with the community. We get feedback from this, and we just say thank you and appreciate this resource and from our community partner. And you know, Tim, that's probably my favorite part of board meetings. You know, we recognize like 10 to 11 students. Now we're recognizing 10 to 11 staff members with our Star Employee Award. We've had the Star 3 Student Award for about 3.5 years now. And now, you know, what we were able to do during that time is also recognize some of our special community partners, of which Randolph Communications is. So big thank you. Please make sure you guys know that you're valued. You're a highly valued partner of the Randolph County School System.
So thank you, Randolph Communications, and thank you, Dr. Gainey. And another thank you to Southmont Elementary for allowing us to come out and interview in their fine school. Next month we'll be at another school, don't know where yet, but we'll be moving all across the district each month. So thank you again to our community, and we will see you in February.